Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, holding a PhD, and I'm delighted to have you here today. We will be exploring the types of human error in GMP and GLP. In this presentation, we'll cover the different kinds of human errors that can occur in pharmaceutical and laboratory settings and discuss how to identify and minimize them. Let's get started and dive into this important topic. Let's start by talking about the introduction. Human error is actually one of the leading causes of deviations in GMP and GLP environments. These deviations can have serious consequences, affecting the quality of our products, the integrity of our data, and our ability to stay compliant with regulations. It's important to understand that these errors are often controlled through well-designed systems, clear procedures, and comprehensive training programs. Now, moving on to the definition of human error. Essentially, human error is any unintended act or decision that strays from what's been approved or expected. It can take different forms, including errors in executing tasks, decision-making mistakes, or even mistakes in documentation. Recognizing these types of errors helps us better understand how they can impact our work and what we can do to minimize them. Let's take a closer look at the classification of human error. First, we have skill-based errors, which often include slips and lapses. These are usually small, unintended actions that happen when we're distracted or not fully focused. Next are rule-based errors, which occur when someone applies a rule incorrectly or misjudges a situation based on existing procedures. Then there are knowledge-based errors, which happen when a person lacks the necessary knowledge or understanding to handle a situation properly. Lastly, we have violations, which are deliberate deviations from established rules or procedures. Understanding these categories helps us identify the root causes of errors and develop better strategies for prevention. Recognizing the different types of human error is essential in improving safety and performance across various fields. Now, let's talk about skill-based errors, which are often called slips and lapses. These errors tend to happen during routine tasks that we've done many times before. For example, in GMP environments, you might see someone weighing raw materials incorrectly or accidentally skipping a step in the batch manufacturing process. These are the kinds of mistakes that can happen almost automatically, without much conscious thought. In GLP settings, skill-based errors might look like pipetting the wrong volume or forgetting to label a sample. These small oversights can seem minor, but can have significant impacts on the integrity of the data or the process. So, what causes these types of errors? Fatigue and heavy workloads are common culprits because when we're tired or overwhelmed, our focus drops. Repetitive tasks can lead to complacency, where we stop paying close attention. Similar packaging or poorly labeled items can also cause confusion, leading to mistakes. And let's not forget interruptions and distractions. They break our concentration and increase the likelihood of slips. Understanding these causes helps us develop strategies to minimize skill-based errors, which is essential for maintaining quality and compliance across our work. Now, let's talk about rule-based errors. These happen when we apply the wrong standard operating procedure or misinterpret instructions. It's a common issue in both GMP and GLP environments. For example, in GMP, you might use an incorrect cleaning procedure or set up equipment improperly. These mistakes can compromise product quality and safety. In GLP, a typical error might be following an incorrect test method or using an outdated analytical procedure. Both scenarios highlight how crucial it is to follow the correct protocols. So, what causes these rule-based errors? Often, it's poor SOP clarity, meaning procedures aren't clear enough to follow easily. Inadequate training can leave staff uncertain or misinformed. Lack of proper document control can also lead to outdated or incorrect procedures being used. And of course, complex procedures can increase the likelihood of mistakes, especially if they're not well understood. Understanding these causes helps us identify where improvements can be made to prevent such errors and ensure compliance and quality in our work. Let's talk about knowledge-based errors. These errors tend to happen in situations that are unfamiliar or particularly complex, where we might not have all the information or experience at hand. In the GMP context, for example, this could be an incorrect adjustment of process parameters, which might seem straightforward but can lead to significant issues if misjudged. It could also involve misjudging an equipment malfunction, where a technician might overlook subtle signs or make assumptions without enough data. Switching to GLP, knowledge-based errors often show up as wrong interpretation of analytical results. This can happen if the data is complex or if there's a misunderstanding of what the results truly indicate. Another common example is improper troubleshooting of instrument issues, which can lead to incorrect conclusions and affect the integrity of the data. Overall, these errors highlight the importance of thorough understanding and careful evaluation in complex or unfamiliar situations to prevent compromising quality or compliance. Today, I want to talk about violations, specifically intentional errors. These are deliberate deviations from established procedures, which means someone is intentionally not following the rules. For example, skipping documentation, ignoring SOP steps, or bypassing safety protocols. These actions are not accidental. They are conscious choices that can have serious consequences. We can categorize these violations into different types. First, there are routine violations, which happen regularly and might become a bad habit. Then, situational violations, which occur because of specific circumstances or pressures at the moment. And finally, exceptional violations, which are unusual or extreme breaches of protocol. Understanding these types helps us see that violations aren't just about individual mistakes. They can be driven by various factors and require different approaches to address. Recognizing the intent behind these errors is crucial because it influences how we respond and prevent future issues, keeping safety and compliance at the forefront of our operations. Let's talk about documentation errors, which are critical in GMP and GLP environments. These include data entry mistakes, incomplete records, or even backdating or overwriting entries. For example, an incorrect batch record entry can seriously affect traceability, making it difficult to track the product's history accurately. Now, moving to data integrity errors, especially from a GLP perspective. It's essential to follow the ALCOA principles: attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate when recording data. Failing to do so can lead to manipulations of test data or not recording raw data immediately, which compromises the integrity of the data. Both types of errors highlight how important it is to maintain rigorous documentation practices to ensure data quality and compliance. Let's talk about the impact of human error in our industry. When mistakes happen, the consequences can be quite serious. For example, product recalls are a direct result of errors, and these not only affect the company's reputation, but can also put patients at risk. Regulatory warnings from agencies like the FDA or WHO can follow, which can be costly and damage trust. Human error can also lead to a loss of data credibility, making it harder to rely on the information we use to make decisions. Most importantly, patient safety is at risk whenever mistakes occur, which is what we want to avoid at all costs. And of course, these errors often translate into financial losses for the organization, impacting overall business sustainability. So, how do we address these issues? That's where control and prevention strategies come into play. Standardizing and reviewing our SOPs, or standard operating procedures, helps ensure everyone follows the same steps consistently. Providing thorough training and assessing competency keeps staff prepared and alert. Automation and digital systems are powerful tools to reduce human involvement in routine tasks, minimizing errors. Checklists and double verification processes act as safety nets, catching mistakes before they reach the patient. Strong quality assurance oversight is essential to monitor and improve our processes continually. Lastly, error-proofing techniques like Poka-yoke are designed to make mistakes impossible or easily detectable. By implementing these strategies, we create a safer, more reliable environment, which supports our overall goal of delivering quality and safe products. So, in conclusion, while human error cannot be completely eliminated, we can certainly work towards minimizing it. The key is to focus on designing robust systems, providing thorough training, and fostering a strong compliance culture. These elements are critical because they help us uphold the high standards of GMP and GLP, which are essential for ensuring product quality. Remember, it's about creating an environment where errors are less likely to occur, and when they do, can be quickly identified and corrected. Keeping these principles in mind is vital for maintaining the integrity of our processes and the safety of our products. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated, and I hope you found this presentation valuable. Remember, we're always available to assist you as you move forward. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you again, and have a great day.